Hey guys, and welcome back to another season of the Porsche Cup Car here on iRacing with Coach Dave Academy. We're here in Miami with a new track and a new car as well to bring you today. So let's get into the hot lap. So let's get into the hot lap guide then for the Miami circuit here in the new Porsche Cup car for 2026 season one. So heading down towards turn one then, making sure we stick to the left as much as possible here into the braking zone for turn one, and then you're just braking just after the 150-meter board here on the left-hand side. You've got a slight dip as well here. You can't really see it from this camera angle, but a slight dip in the track, which means you're braking slightly downhill initially, and it turns into an uphill just before the apex and the corner as you start to turn in. Going down to second gear, make sure you don't take too much apex curb on the inside, just as the curb is quite highly raised and it can unsettle the car. And on the throttle, just a slight lift for turn two, and the same for turn three as well. And just let the car naturally um, trail out nice and wide, and then cut it back for the S section to the right hand side. Just try and get as close to this wall on the outside as possible. And then slight dab of the brake on the way in, just using this 50-meter board on the right hand side as a reference. Just after that, I want to start braking about 40%. And again, this curve's quite highly raised on the inside there, so just don't want to take too much of it as it will unsettle the car. This car is a lot more sensitive to the curbs, it seems, than the old generation, so just bear that in mind as well. For this right-hander, you can take a lot of the inside curb, as it's not really a curb, it's just a painted curb, so you can completely ignore it, really, and just make sure you're completely abusing the track limits here on the insides. And then back on full throttle. Same with this one. This one's a painted curb, so as long as you've got half your car on that curb, you're fine. I mean, I'm not sure if this will stay this way for long, just as it is quite a big cut. And in F1, for example, this would not be legal. So we'll see how long this lasts. Just really feathering the throttle and the brake through this one. So you can slight dab of brake there, and then just being really patient. Let the car trail out as well, just for the left-hander to open it up onto the back straight. Again, not taking too much inside curb, just to make sure the car's unsettled. You can use all of this exit curb because it means you can carry more exit speed. You get it right out close to the wall, means you get on the throttle earlier as well. And then completely flat down the back straight. I mean, there's a few kinks in the straight, but it is completely flat out. Just taking the line of least resistance, hugging the wall on the inside, and just let the car trail out again. And you want the car to be nicely to the right-hand side for the next braking point. Very heavy braking zone here. You're just braking before the 150-meter board on the right-hand side, and you've got this gantry as well across the circuit. And about 75% peak pressure, down to second gear. Again, just avoiding the inside curb. just so we don't unsettle the car. Back to the left-hand side, and a slight bit of brake just to get the nose in, but you're mainly lifting for this right-hander. And then just, again, feathering the throttle, just being really patient, slightly rear limited this section. And then again, just being really nice and smooth with the inputs. You're nailing this apex as close to the wall as you can, and just letting the car, again, trail out. Not too much brake pressure, about 10%, and then getting as close to this wall on the inside as possible. And hop over this next section, just aiming for that cone on the inside. This curb you can pretty much ignore as well. You're just trying to fly as much as you can over this curb. It does unsettle the car slightly, but make sure you flick it back to the right-hand side just to maximize the exit onto the straight. And then again, not using too much of the curb on the inside, just to make sure our traction is as good as it can be. Straighten the car up, and then full throttle alongside the wall on the right-hand side. And then completely flat again, down towards the final hairpin. Just giving a wheel as straight as we can here. And then getting ready for the final braking point, another very heavy braking zone. Just before the 150-meter boards, you're starting to brake, and just after the 200-meter board, which you can see out here, sorry. Slam the brakes on about 80% peak pressure, and then make sure you're maximizing the exit as much as possible. So down to first gear, take a nice late apex, and then straighten the car up as much as possible. And then completely flat through the final couple of corners, and then take the shortest route to the line, and that'll complete a lap of Miami. So that was the hot lap guide then, the first hot lap guide of 2026 for season 1. As usual, hope that was really useful for you guys. You can check out all the latest data packs on coachdavacademy.com, and all the latest hot lap guides as well for the new season on this YouTube channel. But other than that, I will see you next week for week 2, guys. So take care.